Welcome everybody. I am super excited here to be bringing you the 8th edition of my dumbest mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes actually, and these are just maybe not the top 12, but I'm just doing a few of them just so you guys can learn a little bit from my mistakes and hopefully have success a little bit quicker than the years and years that it took me to build up something substantial. So. Um, what I want to talk about today is, well, first of all, I just want you guys to please comment below where you're calling in from. I just love hearing where you guys are calling in from. It's just great to see so many of you. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this as well. I just really appreciate it, and hopefully you'll find some value out of it and share with your teams as well so that you can all grow quicker and not make all these crazy mistakes. But today's mistake is really going to be probably maybe the most important one and the one that's cost me the most amount of money. Okay, and so I want you to focus and maybe write down a few notes. And at the end of today's video, I will share some of the best ways of being able to avoid this mistake. Okay, so I'm not sure if you've ever heard this, but please comment below if you have. But the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? I heard this from the very beginning, yet I didn't live it. I didn't follow up enough. Okay, and how do I know that? Okay, so I want you guys to comment below. Number one, if you've ever had somebody that you prospected, but later on you find out they've joined another team. Okay, I've had tons and tons and tons of people that I might have first have talked to them about the opportunity, but they later on joined another team. Now, very often, it's part of my team, and it's part of people that come back to me and say, hey, actually, I just signed up somebody today that you talked to before. And, of course, I love this as it's all, teamwork and so on. But it made me always realize, like, hey, I am awful at following up with people. Even though I have a pretty good system in place, obviously not good enough, I just don't do it enough of it, okay? And so... like, for example, one of the people on my team, they probably come back to me, I would say 5 to 10 times saying that they've signed up somebody in their team who I actually spoke to first, okay? So that's always hurts a lot, right? When it's just, that's just one person coming back to me. You can imagine how many people have not come back to me and told me about it, right? So I just want to give you some stats here so you guys can understand really the importance of follow-up, okay? So, I believe it's something like 4% of salespeople give up after the first no, okay? So you actually continue to do it. I might be one of those 4%, okay? Give up after the first no. 22% give up after 2 no's, okay? 14% give up after 3 no's. 12% give up after 4 no's, okay? So that is essentially, if you add all of that up, sorry. I don't know why it says that 92% of salespeople give up after 4 no's, okay? Because I add up those numbers and I don't get anything close to that. Oh, I know what it is. It's 44%. I didn't write the number right, okay? Sorry about this, okay? Well, okay, so 44% give up after the first no. I'm definitely part of that, okay? But 92% of people give up after 4 no's or less. Only 8% of people actually keep going and keep following up with people, okay? And what is quite interesting is that 80% of people who buy something normally say no 4 times before they say yes, okay? And this is why, for example, with marketing or anything that you do, any kind of advertisement or whatever else, it's about repetition, 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 repetition. And that's why it's so important, whether you're doing it through social media or in real life, it's all about like being consistent, just being out there and going back over and over and over and over again. Because people are saying no, 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 right? And then finally they go, okay, yeah, I'm in, right? And I know I do the same thing. Like whenever I see something, I see an ad like over and over and over again. And finally I'm like, okay, I need to check this out. Like why is this popping into my head all the time, right? So, but according to these statistics, 8% of salespeople will get 80% of the sales. So you choose, are you going to be part of the 92% that get 20% of the sales, or are you going to be one of the 8% of people that get 80% of the sales? Okay? Pretty simple answer, right? So now you need to come up with a really, really good system to follow up with people, okay? And I'll share here a few different ways that you can do so. And please do comment below if you do have really good ways of following up with people, like really innovative ways of doing so. But the key to as well is this, is having a really good CRM system. So there are tons of different things out there like Salesforce and whatever else. But what I find is that what works for most people is just having a regular spreadsheet online. Okay, have it on like a Google Drive spreadsheet, because then you won't lose it. It's always there. Wherever you find internet access, you can find it, right? And all you do is you put every single person that you speak to in the spreadsheet, and all you do is you put on the next columns there, you put like information about them, where they're based, whether they're interested in whatever else, maybe a rating system of 1 to 10 where they're at, and then every time you follow up with them, you write a new note on next to it, right? If you do that, I promise you, you are going to have success. The best people in our business usually say no, I would say 5 to 10 times before they say yes, maybe even more. Okay? One of the top leaders in all of Europe said no 5 years before he finally said yes. Okay? Another guy, one of the top people in all of Europe, apparently said no like 17 or 18 times before he said yes. Okay? So that just means that you just need to figure out ways to follow up with these people. And without being a pest too, you gotta have fun with it. You gotta have creative ways of doing it. If you're always doing it with a smile, it's definitely gonna help, okay? If you're always kind of having fun with it and pushing the boundaries a little bit here and there, but like having a good time with it, you're gonna have better success, okay? So one of the ways you can follow up with people is if you have friends, for example, on Facebook, and you are going to a certain city, you can just put in, you go into the search bar on Facebook and you put friends in Newcastle, and it's going to pop up all the friends that I have that I'm connected to that are in Newcastle are going to be there. And I'll be like, okay, I'm flying to Newcastle in 2 weeks' time or whatever. I'm going there, taking the train up there in 2 days' time. I'm just going to message every single person in Newcastle and let them know that I'm coming to town, and if they'd be up for a coffee, or would they be up for if you're having like an opportunity presentation, whatever else it is, right? Makes it so much easier when it's kind of like when you're going somewhere, okay? Because you're in town, you're only there for a short period of time. It's like there's a limit. Like, for example, if you live, for example, in London, and you're go friends in London, and then you're going, oh, I'm in London today and tomorrow and the next 10 weeks and the next 10 years, I'm in London, okay? There's nothing special with it, right? But that doesn't mean you're not going to follow up with people in London. You're, of course, going to follow up with those people as well, where you live locally. But when you go into other places, it is sometimes easier to get in touch with them and say, hey, I'm coming in, right? Another time that you can do it is if there's ever a really big speaker in your business that's going to a certain city, you can actually just kind of chase the calendar and be like, okay, where's the big speaker going to be, right? And let's say there's a big speaker that's going to pop up in Glasgow. You don't necessarily have to be there yourself. You can invite to this event by just saying friends in Glasgow and just messaging these people and being like, look, I know you expressed a little bit of interest a long time ago and you haven't obviously decided to join us, but there's somebody who's been extremely successful that is going to share why right now is such an exciting time. Would you like to get an invite to this event, right? And so I'm not sending them like, this person's here, this date, blah, 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 be there, like I'm asking them a question, I'm just saying like first edifying whoever's coming to town, and then I'm just letting them know that, hey, would you like an invite, right? Everybody wants to be invited to something, so it's just asking that question obviously helps, right? Okay. Whenever there's a new product launch, there's a chance to follow up with absolutely anybody, right? And just being like anybody who's, especially customers, anybody's bought from you before, you follow up and you just say like, look, hope you're getting along really well with this and this product. We now have this and this launching. Would you be interested in more information about it? Would you be interested in testing it out, right? And being one of the first VIP people to get it in the pre-launch, blah, 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 right? Like you build up excitement and make it a lot of fun, right? Another easy one to follow up with people is birthdays, okay? But here's the key to birthdays. Do not put like a message on their wall, okay? I just had my birthday like a few weeks ago, and what I realized when this happened was that a lot of people wrote on my wall, right? But I didn't have time. Like I was super busy during my birthday with family and whatever else, so I didn't even have time to go and look at it. But I looked at it a little bit quickly later on, but I didn't have time to respond to all these people. However, the people that private messaged me, those I all said thank you to, and those are the people that I remember more than anyone. Even though there was hundreds who wrote on my wall, I remember that the few that actually they gave me a call, that's the best one, or sent me a message with something, okay? And one of them that I remember really well, and the reason I remember this is because I actually learned this from a great Facebook trainer, Fraser Brooks. he says that there's what he teaches people is get the app called Dub Smash. And what you can do on there is you can actually get the happy birthday song. You record a video of you miming while somebody like famous is singing the song, and you just save that video, and now you can send it to people on their birthday. And I promise you, they will remember you better than anyone else when you do that, okay? It's just a nice, easy way to put your face and something fun into their heads, right? Okay? So that's a great tip for birthdays, to make it fun there as well, with that, okay? Another huge one in these days is sending them a physical card, okay? Sending a card to somebody and actually, if somebody ever sends you like a card and there's like writing and stuff in it, it makes such a difference. Like you're going to remember that person much more. You'd be like, what? Somebody take the time and actually handwrite. Like people can actually write with pen and paper these days, and that's going to help so much, right? With building that relationship, and they're going to feel appreciated because you took out the time to do something like that, not just send them a quick message, okay? Of course, it's maybe hard to always get people's addresses and so on, but that's a great way to do it, right? Okay? Another one is, and also when you're messaging people on Facebook or whatever else, the more interaction you have with somebody, the more likely your posts are going to pop up in their newsfeed. So that always helps as well. And that's why it's important to follow up with all these people so that your stuff keeps on popping up in their newsfeed all the time if you're doing a lot of attraction marketing, right? Okay. Another thing is just to comment on their things, going on to their profile and seeing what are they up to. Is there something fun that's happened? Like, obviously for big events, like if they have a baby or if they have, if they get married and things like that, that's a really easy one. But that they're not really going to remember that because they get too many congratulatory messages. But if finding something else that's a little bit like they just had a little win in their life, finding a way to kind of message them and be like, oh, I saw you did this. How was that, right? I saw you were just on holidays to here and here. Like now they're back. And be like, what did you like best about that place? Or I've been there too, or whatever else. Or would you recommend going there, right? So just having fun with something like that. And once again, when you either, if you comment on their stuff, great. But if you send them a private message with this, it's even better, right? Okay. Whenever you find things that people can find valuable, like for example, let's say that you got the latest hints on, I'm not sure, like let's say just the latest news on something that Instagram has launched or that makes it easier to the algorithm or whatever else. If somebody that can find value out of that, why not send them that, right? Whatever else it is, if they have an interest in something, like you find news or whatever else that they would find value in, like that's a great time to send them something. And they might just be like, hey, look, they might not even have time to read it, whatever else. They might not even find it like amazing, but they're like, wow, this person actually thought of me, that I would find this valuable and send it to me. That's another great way of following up and just building the relationship, right? Okay. Now, with all this, always keep track within a spreadsheet how often you're following up and so on. That's the hard part because it's, you can follow up with all these people all the time, but if you're not keeping track of it, it's going to be hard over time to really know like which are the people. And what I would do is if you have people that you really, really want on your team, that you really believe in, those are the ones that you want to have a rating on your spreadsheet of maybe like 9 out of 10, and those are the ones you want to follow up with the most, right? Also, customers are your best people to follow up with constantly and build relationships with those people, because if you have a great relationship with the customers, they're going to continue to be your customers, right? But the big key to all this as well is not just to build a relationship and give value and all this stuff, but you also have to continuously ask them if they would like more information or if now is a better time for them to join the team, right? You have to be willing to go for that no. As we said earlier, the stats show that people say no 4 times before they say yes, most of 80% or something like that, right? Okay, I don't know how accurate some of these stats are, but anyway, like these are sales stats that have been around for ages, and I believe in them. Today, you probably need more than 5 touches. You probably need 15, 20 touches before somebody says yes to something, because we're bombarded with so many messages every day through all of our social media and everywhere, right? So, but find fun ways of following up with these people. Find excuses to reach out to people. Have a lot of conversations. The more you can get on the phone with people, the better it's going to be. The more you can do voice notes, the better it's going to be. The more you can meet people face to face, the better it's going to be than just a single little message here and there, right? You've got to set yourself apart from everybody else that's bombarding them with everything else all the time. And be that person that they start to like, okay? But also push those boundaries and always kind of joke around. Oh, I can't wait till the day when you join my team. I can't wait to start working with you. And then if they say no, now's not the right time, be like, look, can I follow up with you in 6 weeks, right? And then when 4 weeks is up, hey, 4 weeks is up. They're not going to remember whether 4 weeks or 6 weeks have really gone by. But now's a great time to be like, hey, You know, I promise to get back in touch with you. And people value that a lot. If you promise that you will get back in touch with them and you do, they're like, oh my gosh, how do they remember, right? So you have that. You put those reminders into your calendar. That day you need to follow up with these people. And they're going to remember you so much more when you do that. Okay, so I hope these things have helped a little bit with a follow-up, and I just want to say I've lost a lot of money by not following up with people, and you guys can do it much better than I have. Be organized, follow up. That should almost be your priority. Yes, you need to speak to 3 new people every day, but follow up with at least 3 people a day. I would say, like, you know, after a few months, you'd be following up with 10 people a day, 20 people a day, 30 people a day, and get those 3 new contacts every single day. Okay? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for following this. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a smashing evening and go out there and have a great week of building your business. All right, thank you so much. Cheers.